Before we dive into the Metasploit framework and other tools, I want to take a few moments to discuss ethics, their importance, and their application through codes of conduct. Ethics are really driven by the information security industry's expectations about how security professionals conduct themselves during their work. Most organizations define those expectations through codes of conduct, codes of ethics, and conduct statements. In the case of penetration testing, it's about making the right choices in how we use powerful tools that can provide unauthorized access, deny services, and possibly destroy data. While this isn't a philosophy course studying Hume or Kant, I find moral reasoning a very interesting subject. You will, no doubt, encounter several dilemmas which will require you to consider the ethical code and use your moral reasoning in weighing your actions against the consequences. After this discussion, you should have the right tools to make the best decision. All of our testing tools can be used to strengthen the security and resiliency of systems, but in the wrong hands or when used with the wrong intent, they can be used to compromise systems and obtain unauthorized access to sensitive data. While you can get quite a rush from remotely compromising a system, popping a shell on it, and then exploring, we must always remember that the goal of penetration testing is to improve the system and organizational security through these activities. Running exploits and gaining access demonstrates a weakness in the system's software, configuration, operation, management procedures, or monitoring that can be corrected once the extent of the problem is known and shared with those that can correct it. But what if the information never reached anyone in the organization? What if the vulnerability is never shared with the original software vendor? Would those issues ever be corrected? As professional penetration testers, we have certain ethical and contractual obligations. We need to ensure that we operate in a way that does not violate those obligations or erodes trust in this profession. While we will look at some specific codes of conduct soon, let's talk about the high-level constructive actions to consider. 1. Know what you're doing. You're on the right track by starting with this course. There's a lot more to know than what you'll find here, but my hope is that you will continue to learn about Metasploit and many of the other tools. Along with learning the tools, you need to have a playground in which you can break stuff without harming anyone. Have fun experimenting and testing the limits of technology. Just do it in a way that doesn't cause real harm. 2. Operate professionally by ensuring that you have the stakeholders' knowledge and consent to conduct testing. Do not conduct testing beyond the scope of the project unless authorized to do so. Manage all projects with efficiency and protect any intellectual property entrusted to you. 3. Disclose responsibly by sharing your findings with the appropriate stakeholders in a timely manner. Do not exaggerate or understate risk. Know the difference between full disclosure, non-disclosure, and responsible or coordinated disclosure. 4. Advance the profession by sharing what you know with other testers and professionals. Techniques and tools in penetration testing, in parallel with technology itself, are evolving continuously. Always work towards advancing this field by sharing what you know. A simple summary of the power of Metasploit and your need to use it wisely can be summed up with this famous quote: "With great power comes great responsibility." This quote has been widely attributed to Voltaire, but also William Lamb. I think we can thank Uncle Ben from Spider-Man for the popularity of it. Let's explore 2 specific codes of conduct that are relevant to the information security profession. First, we'll look at EC Council's Code of Ethics and then one from CISSP. If you decide to invest your time in certification through the Certified Ethical Hacker Program, then you'll be bound to the EC Council's CEH Code of Ethics. This Code of Ethics is really geared for the penetration testing professional. You can find the current version of the code listed here at this URL. I would encourage you to review it because it really provides a lot of the details associated with ethical concerns that you will encounter in your career as a penetration tester. The ISC² also has a Code of Ethics. It's specifically for members of the ISC² and its certification holders like CISSPs. While not designed for penetration testing specifically, this code is very simple and yet broad to cover most of the ethical concerns that you will encounter as an information security professional. The URL here will provide the code and the following canons. Often, when there's a discussion on ethics in information security, there's a discussion on which hat is being worn. This is a concept that goes back to early cowboy movies. The good guys always wore white hats. The bad guys wore black ones. This concept has been adapted for describing the ethics of people in security testing and security research. If you're an information security professional employed as a penetration tester and you operate in a way that helps your clients and stakeholders, then you're a white hat. Someone that operates without authorization and without the knowledge of the system's owner is a black hat. This is a person that is in violation of the law and may put sensitive information at risk. Black hats are typically motivated by activism or hacktivism, or by profit from illegally acquired information or access to systems. A gray hat is someone in between a white hat and a black hat on a moral scale. For example, some of her activities may be altruistic in nature by informing the public about vulnerabilities that negatively affect system owners or software vendors. Some activities of a gray hat may include finding vulnerabilities without authority and then informing the system owner and offering to fix the problem. Gray hats may also work as white hats during the day and turn to black hat style hacking after hours. This course is geared for the white hats. However, the tools we use are powerful to anyone that knows how to use them effectively, regardless of the color of their hat. Keep this in mind as I discuss the penetration testing process.